also going to share what's happening here at the center because we have a very vibrant center with lots going on. And even though we're halfway through June, we still have lots planned. So some of it is on your program, and I want to share what we have coming up. But first I want to mention we do have an update with Janice. Mr. Jonathan over here is helping to organize a meal train. So if anybody is wanting to help out with that, please see Jonathan. And then we usually have our men and women's group today, but being that it's Father's Day, we've actually put it to next week. So next week, please join us. We invite you to stay after service. We gather for the women in here, and then the men do their mindful treehouse, the mindful women and conscious treehouse, something. We're going to see here, and the treehouse men go outside. No, but it's a time for us to gather together after service, and we do encourage people to bring snacks and things like that too if you want to do that. So that's going to be next week as opposed to today. And then this week on Thursday at 7 o'clock, we have a healing circle. We've done this a couple of times. It's a fabulous opportunity to come here. We consider healing to be a revealing of who we really are and what our true nature is. So this is an opportunity to come that. We do that through meditation, through music, and through a prayer chamber that the practitioners will participate in so you get all loved up. So that's going to be 7 o'clock. Who doesn't want more lovins? I know I need it and want it. So that's going to be Thursday at 7. And then we also have a one-time workshop with the Reverends. That's going to be on June 27th, which is a Tuesday. And it's going to be based on the book called The Game of Life and How to Play It. And that is a Florence Shin Shovel Shin. She is... It's Florence. Flossie. We call her Flossie. It's a great book. She was a fabulous metaphysician. And the book is very simple. It's very easy to incorporate into our lives. And we have this one-time workshop. It's going to be a 2-hour workshop that the Reverends are going to do. Now, the books are on order, so there will be some more arriving soon because they've literally been flying out of the bookstore. So it's something that's very popular, and then we're going to have the workshop to tie up with that as well. Okay, Reverend Diane, who, if you didn't hear her, she's part of the bookstore and runs the bookstore. So if you are wanting a book and put your name on hold for one, you'll be out back to do that. Okay, great. And the bookstore has other great authors and lots of great books in the Science of My magazine too. So you'll want to check it out after service anyways. And then to finish out our month, as we do every month, we have Spiritual Cinema. That's going to be the last Friday, which is going to be the 30th. And this is going to be Kaua'i. So it's a funny, enlightening movie about an American documentarist who actually goes out and disguises himself as an Indian guru to do this whole documentary on why blind faith happens. But what actually happens is that he starts helping people change their lives. And his life actually, is changed, and he evolves as well. So there's a lot of humor, there's a lot of travel in it, and it's just very touching. So that's going to be on Friday, June 30th. And of course, we always have popcorn and discussion after the movie for those who'd like to. All right, so that's June. So rolling into July, I'm actually going to bring up Reverend Patrick, who's going to share about our fabulous fundraiser, Here We Grow Again.
There we go. Am I on? Yeah. I'm always on. I'm always on, I know it. The reason I wanted to jump up is because Michelle has so much on her plate, and July is a big month for us. We're celebrating our fourth birthday here, yes. And so when we opened up this place, we had a faith lift program. And what that is just that we came together to make sure we could open our doors, and everybody was chiseling and cleaning and donating and doing all of that stuff. We're on our 4th year, and a lot of people say, isn't it great? They're doing just fine, and we are. But there's always time for retilling the soil. And when we retill the soil, that means that things are needed, like, for instance, to get our beautiful Jonathan back next to the camera will require cord and things and all things I know nothing about. So but I do know that he will look beautiful in blue back next to the actual camera once that cord comes in. So it's all of those type of things. But what we decided to do, because it's so boring just to go, we need some more donations. That's not only boring, but it's dull. So what we're doing is we're going to take that wall over there, and we're going to, like with the faith lift, we're going to build a garden, and we call it our global garden. So that means that anything that comes in, any donations, aside from what comes in on Sundays and is put to that, we're going to build this wonderful global wall, and then you'll put your name on it, and we'll just make it really, really nice. So yes, a garden needs to be retilled, and that's what we're doing on year 4. So if you need any more information, get myself, Michelle, Reverend Rita, any of that, just let us know. And we're also on the website. So we want to have that by July 9th because that's our actual birthday. Good lead in.
Speaking of July 9th, we have a big party that we're going to be having because we're all big on parties here and celebrating. So our service on July 9th will be actually at Lidgate, and it is a big potluck, so we do encourage you to come, and we invite you to bring food to share, but we're also looking for some help as well. We definitely need help with setup and then to clean up. So you can see Reverend Patrick. He'll be out by the door for that, and then we'll be coming around as we get closer. But definitely come celebrate us. It's a big deal, and we love to just celebrate and share that with everybody. And then along with that, we have, just following that, Love Notes 2, which is a cabaret that the Reverends have done. For those of you who may be new or don't know, they actually have a theatrical and musical background. So last year they created a show, and it was phenomenal. Now they've created a brand new show, new musicians, new music, new everything, new songs. So it's all fun, and it's a night where we actually transform this space into a cabaret. It looks like a nightclub. Totally all done by magic and Valentina. So tickets are on sale now, and tickets have to be pre-sold. They are not going to be sold at the door. So you can go on our website. I believe you can also see Diane in the bookstore for those. And that's going to be 2 different nights. It's at the July 13th and the 14th. So what your ticket includes is the show, which is over an hour long, their creativity, their music, their love, but it also has a poo-poo buffet and some drinks, because that brings people too. And because we always love to celebrate with food. So we do. And that is what we've got coming up. Stay tuned. We always have more going on. So the best way to become part of the community is to participate in the community. So we invite you to do that. Thanks so much for your kind attention.
Yes.
And now I'll introduce Reverend Rita as well as Reverend Patrick again.
Oh, thank you so much.
She does such a great job. Welcome everyone again. Welcome to Center for Spiritual Living. And if you're here for the first time, one of the first things we do is light the peace candle and take a moment of silence for peace on earth, which begins within ourselves always. So as we light the peace candle, just take a moment to just go within, close to your heart, and just visualize that peace within yourself, knowing that that's where it begins. We'll take a moment. And so it is.
So it is.
So we have one exciting announcement that we want to make. And that is, and I would like these people to stand up, Rob Jones, Roseanne Jones, where are you?
Right there.
And Malia Reed, where are you?
Right there. Oh, they're
These 3 people have been studying the science of mind and spirit for almost 4 years, and last Saturday they passed with flying colors their practitioner licensing exam.
Yeah.
They took a 3-hour exam, not given by Patrick and I, but given by Centers for Spiritual Living International, and we don't even know the questions that were on the test, and they sat there behind their computers for 3 hours, and they passed. So now they're on to their oral panels, which will take place on July 15th. Congratulations.
Yes, yes.
All right.
And speaking of today's Father's Day, we do have a Father's Day announcement as well. First of all, happy Father's Day to everyone. And our wonderful William and Sabina had their little baby Malia on not this baby Malia. They had their baby on Monday. So we just absolutely give our wonderful. It's one of our first babies in the center. So yeah.
Okay.
So where are they?
Yeah. So
Rita?
where are you? After all these announcements and wonderful news, you are in a Center for Spiritual Living, and if you're here for the first time, wow, I know I'm here because the Center for Spiritual Living philosophy changed my life. Back in 1998, it began for me the journey, and I began to recognize who and what I was really, beyond all my conditions and beyond all my victimhood and all the things I thought were happening to me. I realized that there was a presence within me that was greater than any of that. And that when I would get in touch with that, then I could look out from that place, I could face my issues from that place, and things changed. Things began to change. And I'm just inspired by that, and that's why I'm here on this island, because I spent all those years studying it and trying to work it, and worked it in my own life, and I know that it changes lives to recognize who and what we are. And that's really all we're about, is recognizing our magnificence and recognizing each other's magnificence and assisting each other when we don't remember it. And reaching out, please, always reach out if you're in that position that you're trying to remember who you are, really. Yeah.
We say that all the time. A lot of people think that coming here is all about, I'm in a joyful mood, so let's go to CSL Kauai. And that's lovely, and please bring your joy here, and that's what we celebrate. But there's also, we're not here to get rid of feelings. Today's a very feeling day for many of us. But we're not here to get rid of feelings, we're here to understand them. And what this philosophy does, what this teaching does, what all the masters have taught us is not to be afraid of our feelings, but to honor them, cradle them, and be with them. But you don't have to move in for the rest of your life with them. Right? So who's here for the first time and still are glad that they are? Hi, Andrew.
Can you stand up?
Can you please?
we want to love you a little, so just stand up for a moment.
We're just going to love you a little. There's no...
Yay, wow.
Yeah.
Woo.
And just so you'll know, we're going to give you a 3-hour quiz.
Standing.
No. But what we want to let you know is that before you came here, you may think we don't know you, but I have a lot of information, and Rita has some information on you that we're going to actually share with everyone. So are you guys ready? Let's go. You are magnificent. Yes, they are. And we know that about you because we know, sense of relief back there, right, Jeff? I see them all like, whoa, this is great. So we know that about you because we know that about ourselves. Shall we all say it together? I am magnificent. And because everything that happens here no longer stays here because we have live streaming, there's a whole bunch of people where Rob is standing and they're looking in on us saying, what are they doing? What are those crazy people doing on Kauai? And there we're sitting there and we're going to let them know who they are. Are you ready? You are magnificent. Now, there we go. Oh. And so actually somebody here today was on last week, and they're here today. Where is Cassie? She's somewhere over there. Right there. So now she's live with us, no longer. So if you'd like to say to your left, to your right, give somebody some magnificence next to you, left, right, up, down. You are magnificent, always. Okay, and if everybody wants to stand up, we're going to have our opening song and let the whole island know how magnificent we are.
Thank you.
You ready?
Thank you, Maria and Brent.
Just so you are,
Remember,
you're nothing but the stars. No, it's not remember all the joy you bring me. Remember you are at the center. Remember all that you are worth. remember. All that you know, remember. Seeds take time to grow. Remember, remember. All that you are. Remember, remember, remember. The power of love.
So what I know right here and right now, and I do know it, is that each and every person in this room and beyond this room, all of creation, is the magnificence of that power and of that light and of that energy and of that source that I call God, that I call divine presence. I know we all represent that in our own unique way. And I know that we can come here today, if we choose to remember that we can open up and allow that spirit to just pour through us, to hear with those ears, to hear what we need to hear individually. And I'm blessed this service, and I know that something wonderful is happening here, something magnificent. And I bless all the fathers in the world, not just our biological fathers, but just the representation of father and what that means. Father is nurturer, Father is comforter, and all of that lies within us. So I celebrate Father today, that Father within, that life force within, that love within each and every one of us. And I just let the service unfold, let it go where it's going to go, because it's going with spirit. So I just let that be as we celebrate together and say, and so it is.
Remember just who you are, oh remember your being of the stars, oh remember the wisdom within, oh remember all the joy you can bring, oh remember you are of this earth, oh remember all that you are worth, oh remember all that you know, remember. Seeds take time to grow. Remember, remember all that you are. Remember, remember, remember the power of love.
Yeah.
So this is our time of meditation. I'm Deborah Vandite, practitioner here. I'm going to take you into about a 5 minutes of silence. So please get comfortable and let's just try and take a breath together and let go of everything that came before this moment. Just settling into your seat. Feeling that vibration of the beautiful music. That energy of community, these people that have come together to share in love and light. And in that breath and taking into the silence, we take in this thought by Ernest Holmes. I am in divine partnership with the Creator of all things. again. I am in divine partnership with the Creator of all things. And so it is in that divine partnership that we step into knowing the truth. We step into absolutely recognizing and knowing the truth of who we are. We step into that infinite presence, that divine light of love, of peace, harmony, joy, wholeness. And it is in that space that we connect and that we absolutely know that we are one, that we are connected, and we are connected by this powerful force for good, this God, this place, this name, this spirit that we call the divine presence. Call it whatever you will, for there is only one, and it goes by many names. But it is in this space that we connect with and know that we are of this divine presence. And I absolutely know and claim and speak my word for everyone here that each one of us is of that divine presence, and that I absolutely know that each one of us takes this love, this light, this peace, this joy out into the world in a very unique and special way, a special way that each of you can only do in your unique and special way. For there is only one exactly like you, but this divine force is absolutely coming through you. If you get out of the way and let it guide you and let it move you, and I claim and know and speak my word today that this is the force and the vibration through which each and every one of us will spread this word and this love and this joy and this peace throughout the world. And so I'm grateful for this time together. I'm grateful for the joining of these hearts, for this unique group that has gathered here today to share in this love and this light. And so I release my word into the law, knowing that it is done. It is so. For in the time of God, there is no time, there is no space, there's only now. So it is done. It is so. And please affirm that truth with me by saying, and so it is.
It is.
Please let's all sing together.
This is our chance.
Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. Love upon love upon love. All hearts are beating as one. Light upon light upon light, shining as bright as the sun. So let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through. So let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart, let the way of the heart shine through.
And so it is. Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, Maria. We forgot to introduce before, I think. It's Maria Christina. And Bryn, her sidekick, I don't know. The wonderful Bryn, talented, both of them. Thank you so much. And Jonathan over there who monitors our sound. Thank you. Yeah. Wow. I've been thinking a lot about this talk all week long, and I have, as always, so many notes, and I just don't even know where to start. I know, like, as a person that has to get up and give talks on a Sunday, on Father's Day, and on Mother's Day, it's always my hardest time because I know everybody has different experiences with their fathers and their mothers. And some of us don't even know our fathers, some of us don't even know our mothers, or, you know, we've had these issues. And then some of us has had wonderful experiences with not just, maybe not our biological fathers, but other people that have taken on that role for us. And that we might be fathers and feel less than for some reason, or really powerful. So it's like a gamut of feelings about fathers. So there's only one place I can go, and that's to this thing we call spirit, life, God, force, whatever you want to call it, which is the Father within, Mother within. It's the force within us. And it's the one that we can always, always rely on, no matter what, and manifests itself everywhere through us. So my own father was, many of you who come here a lot know that my father was Italiano, very traditional Italiano, and came here right after World War II, and without a penny in his pocket, and became a doctor. So he came with the American dream in his mind, but he also came with like this feeling that he could do anything and that he could have anything he wanted. And if I say, like, when I started getting in touch with my father, because we didn't always have the really greatest relationship in the whole world. In fact, we had some very, very, very stormy times. But one thing about him that I got from him is that you can follow a dream, and you can make that dream come true when you follow your heart. And he would make crazy decisions that might be crazy decisions business-wise, but he did it because he wanted it. And he wanted it, and he wanted the joy of having that thing, whatever it was. And it always turned out in his favor. And I learned something from that, is that when you follow your dream, when you follow your heart, when you follow your gut about something, there's a universal force that backs that always takes care of you. And that's what I call Father. That's what I call life force. That's what I call the divine thing that's within us. So since we are talking about fairy tales, yeah, we're talking about fairy tales this month, and all the metaphorical things about fairy tales. And if we can look at fairy tales like we've been talking about all month long, and myths and those kinds of things, and stories that we've heard over and over again as metaphorical, we can gain a lot from them. So since it was Father's Day, I took the time to just look at the fathers in fairy tales. Yeah. And if you look at the fathers in fairy tales, all of us that are familiar with fairy tales, and most of us are, you will find that they are very negligent fathers, abusive fathers, fathers that did not exist, fathers that relegated their children over to apparently wicked mothers and didn't take care of them. I mean, this whole metaphor of fathers in fairy tales, I mean, it's really quite depressing. And then I go, what came first, the chicken or the egg? All the problems males have, and and we all do. But here's our role models that we're being given. But that's why it's so important with all these stories, even the stories in the Bible. And please forgive me if you think they're literal, but there is a metaphorical message in everything. And if we can get behind the story to the metaphysical message, to the metaphorical message, we can really learn something. And there's a quote in your program by Albert Einstein who said, read your children fairy tales if you want them to be intelligent. And then if you want them to be more intelligent, I'm paraphrasing, read them fairy tales. Why would he say that? Read them more fairy tales, thank you. Why would he say that? I don't know why he said it, but I think he said it because there's something deeper in the fairy tale that you can teach through the fairy tale. Most of us grew up with fairy tales and we just learned, they lived happily ever after, or whatever happened in the fairy tale, and then we went on our merry way. We didn't really necessarily have somebody sitting next to us going, well, thank God, right? I mean, think of the Disney films too. It's like the kids watch it at one level, right? And then we watch it on another deeper level sometimes. Sometimes we just get into the story and just enjoy it. Anyway, so this father thing, well, all I could think about, because I've been reading a lot of Florence Shinn, is if metaphors and parables and all those things are parts of ourselves. So that's what my conclusion about the whole thing was, and you can decide what yours is that these things within ourselves, these things about negligence and abusiveness and not being there and all this stuff are things that we might do to ourselves when we deny the presence that's within us. Like it's forgotten. Like we don't remember that's who we are. Like we are hard on ourselves, or we are mean to ourselves, or we just don't care about ourselves, or we're not even there for ourselves. All these things are just, I thought, oh, these are just metaphors for part of ourselves. And then if you go even further with the fairy tale stories, usually, and in all cases really, think of Hansel and Gretel, they figure it out for themselves. Their parents like release them, right, in the forest, and they're all by themselves, and they're wondering what they're going to do, and pretty soon they awaken to that part of themselves that they needed to connect themselves to something greater, and they ended up solving their own problems. So I take that back to my own life with my own dad, who I know was doing the best job he could possibly have done, given what he knew at the time and given what he knows. And I feel, this is me, that the things that maybe were hard on me or were what I considered mean or restricting and all that stuff were parts of myself that needed to wake up, parts of myself that needed to be stronger, parts of myself that maybe I came here to learn and grow in, because I believe that everything is a choice and that I actually chose my parents. I actually believe that. I chose the ones that I needed the most. And sometimes for some of us that could be like, oh my God, why did I do that? I don't know. Why does he have such a great dad and I had such an awful one? Or why didn't we have the, Ozzie and Harriet family? Although I don't know if Ozzie, now I'm really dating myself. Okay. And who knows about that family, right? So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for protecting me. Anyway, so I think it's all metaphorical. And I think it all comes down to us. That's basically what I'm trying to say today. And I am grateful. I am grateful for this idea of Father and what that means, the nurturer, the protector, and that thing which I know I can always rely on no matter what. No matter what, Edwin Gaines used to say, God didn't make any grandkids. In other words, we're not grandkids. We're actually the direct connect to that place, to that source, to that power. Call it what you want. Some people hate the word Father, and I'm sorry I keep using it, but that's just whatever it is. But, what? It's Father's Day. Thank you. Thank you. See, I'm taking care of everybody. That's another thing with me. I love taking care of people. That's the Father in me, okay? Yeah, so we are the direct connect. And we are the nurturer. We are that place that can be protected at all times. So the other day, I was thinking about this talk. I've been thinking about it all week long. And I was walking on the Kaua'i path, and I said, you don't take enough time to really appreciate this island and really, really just really appreciate it and open up to what it has to offer you in its beauty and its light and its energy and its source. So I have this place at Kaua'i Path that I love. Well, I call it Kaua'i Path. I don't know if that's what it's called. It starts at Kaua'i Beach for me, and it goes north. And there's the second lookout. If you go down to down the path, there's like a path. You can just stand at the cliff there and overlook the ocean. I saw a naked woman there once. I did. Anyway, that was special. Okay, but anyway, I didn't disturb her. But if you walk down that path and you go there and you're just standing at the foot of the ocean. There's many places on this island, but that's one of my favorite places. And I was just standing there and I was watching those waves coming in and out and crashing on the rocks. And isn't it interesting when you're by the ocean, when you're standing really close to it, it comes closer to you? Have you ever noticed that? I don't know what that is, but I love it anyway. So they were coming closer. But then a voice spoke to me, and it said, move out of the way and see what I can do. Wow. That voice wasn't a voice, of some Charlton Heston. That was coming from within myself, answering a question which I had, which is, what am I doing, and how can I do it better, and how can I take better care of everybody, and blah 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 blah. And it said, move out of the way and see what I can do. In other words, if there's something facing us in our life, Emerson used to say, get your bloated nothingness out of the way. All the students always hated that line. Get your bloated nothingness. What is that bloated nothingness? It's our ego. It's our small, we call it edging God out, where I came from. And the big ego is entertaining God only. So get out of the way and allow it to pour through you. And when you do, I'm telling you, I wouldn't even be able to stand up here talking if I was trying to do it myself. I can't do it myself. And what does that mean? It doesn't mean I am that force. You are that force. It is expressing itself through each and every one of you. And when we get our small minds out of the way that are relegated by like outside conditions. Remember the father in Sleeping Beauty? He was always trying to protect his daughter, and he went out, burning all the spindles and, sending her off with a bunch of fairies so that she'd be okay. And then in the end, she got pricked anyway, right? He's like looking at the outside conditions, trying to combat the outside conditions when all the time the answer lied, as I said one Sunday, in True Love's Kiss, which was the divine nature, waking up to the divine nature, right? So sometimes it comes as a good-looking prince. Sometimes not, whatever. Anyway, so that was...
Thank you.
I got a sidekick over here, too. All right. Anyway, that's my message today. It's just move out of the way and see what I can do. And that presence within each one of us will move mountains for us. It will move things out of the way that we can't even believe. So happy Father's Day. We can all celebrate it. And God bless fathers, and God bless this thing called life. And I just say, and so it is.
So it is.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I came upon a child of God. He was walking along the road, and I asked him, where are you going? And as he told me, he said, I'm going down to Yasgur's Farm. I'm going to join in a rock and roll band. I'm going to camp out on the land and try and get my soul free. We are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. Well, care to walk beside you? I've come to lose the smoke, and I'm feeling just like a cook, and something turning round and round and round. Well, maybe it's just the time of year, or maybe it's the time of man, but I don't know who I am, but life is for learning. We are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden. By the time we got to Woodstock, we were 500,000 strong, and everywhere was a song and celebration. Then I dreamed I saw the bombers ride a shotgun in the sky. They were turning into butterflies above our nation. We are stardust, we are golden, and we've got to get ourselves back to the garden.
Oh, Maria, I always have something to say to you before I start. Do you ever notice that? So funny. She calls and says, "I'm going to do Woodstock, and is that okay?" And that's really wonderful too, to see if it's in sync with what we're doing. And I said to Rita after she called, and I go, "With this group, where we live, sing, honey, sing." Wow. Yeah, it was beautiful. Thank you. Yeah, you could always see everybody singing along. I said, oh yeah, just as I thought. Oh, so it's Father's Day, all day long. Okay, the first thing I want to start out with is, no, we cannot take care of all of your emotional stuff that's going on with you today. Even though Rita and I sit up endless hours trying to think of how we're going to do that. But I am going to start this message. If it wasn't everything that it was cracked up to be, I, from my heart, am sorry about that. I am sorry. And this morning, because sometimes that's all we need to hear, I'm sorry. And if it was wonderful, don't feel guilty about it. Man, celebrate. If you had that perfect father in your mind, right, then celebrate it. Don't hide it, because the rest of us may not have had that perfection that we were looking for. I had a heavy heart this morning, I'll be really honest with you. I was writing my daily blog, and these fairy tales and myths and stuff, they have kicked my butt. I'm just going to let you know right out the gate. And they were told to me. I even went to sleep with these things. And when I really look at them, I go, But what I got this morning was this idea of the, I just did yesterday's morning blog on Dumbo, which is another lovely, bully abuse story of elephants. But my thing that I got from it was, I was in shock. The stork was like delivering Dumbo, which wasn't Dumbo at the time, because he wasn't called Dumbo till everybody made fun of him and then named him. But here's the deal, a stork. So I was thinking of all of the father figures, as Rita was, that they either left, they died immediately, or they weren't even considered because they were brought by a stork. So we were completely eliminated. I mean, it was all that. So this isn't about who does this, who does that, or to defend the men of the world. But what it made me think of was the absentee father. And I do a lot of work with kids. And in LA, we did a lot of work in the prison system. And there's a lot of absentee fathers. But I think it goes beyond just saying, oh my God, there's absentee fathers, losers. I think it goes a little further and a little deeper than that. And today's not about justifying anything. God knows we do that on a daily basis. But I just wanted to let you know where I was coming from this morning when I was thinking about the absentee father. And I had a really interesting situation. I had a present father who was absent. And that really, I had to really open up to that, not from a place, this emotion that I'm feeling isn't from a place of sadness, a little bit for that little boy that was confused. I was curious and confused because I had a father that was like in the fairy tales. He fought a lot of dragons and he fought a lot of demons. And he lived in a time when he came back from war, 2 wars. Korean War, World War II. And he spent a lot of times jumping underneath tables. Well, to most kids, that's kind of fun because it's like playing army, except he was really playing army. And I tell you this not to let you know, oh, poor Patrick's thing, which you can say that if you would like, but that's not my reasoning. My reasoning is to allow you to go with me in this journey that we all have about our fathers. And I thought about that idea that my father was not present And yet he was there, and everybody said, oh, I wish I had my father the whole time. Well, there was a couple wishes I had, and that was not it. There was a couple wishes like, I think it's time to go. And finally, that did happen in its own way. But there was another absentee father that I was able to experience. And I had an absentee father called God. And I went to Catholic school, and this isn't anything about Catholicism. I had the greatest time in the world. I'm not a recovering Catholic. I'm a discovering Catholic. I discovered. But that one really kicked me, because I thought to myself, not only do I not have a father that's present at home, but what about the God out there that lives in heaven? And I thought, wow. And I only could get to him, obviously, because I was Mama's boy through Mother Mary. I could only go to her or St. Teresa or any of the saints to get to Big Daddy. That's the only place I could go, because this God didn't communicate with me, because I had to wait until I did all my things, and then later on I'll go to heaven. Wow. But I still loved my philosophy and my religion and that entire thing. But I thought to myself, how did that actually work with me? About knowing that my father, I couldn't get to him, that there was no direct connect. Like the prodigal son, man, I came home. And I realized my daddy never lived out there. And my daddy wasn't sick, and my dad wasn't abusive, and he wasn't confused, and he wasn't filled with PTSD and every other thing. That wasn't who he was. This father lived within me. And this father loved me. And when I looked out there, that's why this philosophy, this teaching, whatever you want to call it, it's so personal. This is personal. This is my fairy tale. And so I thought of all the expectations that must have been put upon men and put upon fathers and put upon just that whole thing. All these expectations, all these comparisons. When I looked at the people next door and they seemed to have the perfect family. You ever been there? Oh, they have. Well, my dad does this. Have you ever tried to, in my case, Father's Day was a nightmare, not because it was Father's Day, but I had to pick out a card. And I'm one of those sensitive boys that stood for hours picking out his mama's card, his friend's cards, and it had to say the right word. I didn't just go, okay, it's happy birthday, and pick, no. I had to pick out the right thing that said exactly what was in my heart, or I would not give you a card. So if you haven't gotten a card, it's not because I actually don't. It's not that I can't figure out anything, man. It's just that you get me. And I remember the torture. A father is the kind of man who nope. The father is, and you're like, hours went by till finally you got the perfect card. Happy Father's Day. And so I really embraced that. And then I went on to just think to myself, I had incredible compassion for my father this morning. To think of that man who was tortured himself. But I was so busy, and I still do. And this is the deal. This isn't about, letting him off the hook, because my dad did some scary things. But it is about forgiving. We're right back to where we started. My mom did the best she could. She was a mother, father, brother, whatever it is. And I went in search my entire life to find the father figure. And then I thought, well, I know what I'll do. I'll have kids of my own. That didn't happen either. Not because I didn't try. It didn't happen. And so I had to kind of mourn that this morning too. I said, wow, People used to ask me, they say two things. What's it like not having a kid, or you don't understand because you don't have children? And I call that absolute BS. I have touched more lives as Patrick FEren as the father image that I have been to so many people, mostly myself. So I don't take that excuse anymore. You don't understand? But I do. Because the Father within me that has created everything lives through me, so I do understand that. But I do miss it, and I had to honor that. Instead of me going, no, it never bothered me any, because, it just didn't happen, I got one somewhere. Do you have any kids? Not that I know of. Which could be true. Just FYI. Back to point. That I'm being really transparent, just laying it on the table. Yeah, I am going to miss that idea of looking down at a little face, looking back at me, and seeing myself. I get it. I would have liked to have had, not Father Knows Best, because I'm not too fond of, that's a little too much for me. Happy Days was not my, idea of a father. But yeah, I do miss that perhaps. And I just got real with myself. Yeah, I miss it. Yeah, maybe I miss having kids. Maybe. But what I do know is that I said to myself, and I'll close with this. I said, Patrick, if you could change any of it, if you could take your father and you could rearrange it all, or what I call twice upon a time. Twice upon a time. Go back and reframe it. Reframe and forgive. And so when I went back and I went, would you change anything, Patrick? And let me tell you, there are some things that, well, I'm a minister now. We don't even need to talk about those. Would I go back and do it differently about having children? Would I go back? And the answer is yes and no. Because you see, I found in this father image for me today that if I changed just one moment of my past, I wouldn't be me. All of that. And people say, well, it's easy for you to say now. Yeah, it is. Is it an excuse? Is it justification? Who cares? Who cares? What's happening here is that I'm here now. So I can spend the rest of my life saying, Daddy didn't do it. And Mama could have done better, and she could have married somebody rich. And that was just a thought that ran through my childhood mind. But guess what I have? I have me. And I have my children. You little whippersnappers. And here's the other great thing. Remember I talked about my little kid that would look back and I could help? That's what I see when I look at all of you. That's what we see out in our world. We better see God looking at God every time we look at each other. So today, I invite you to honor your feelings. Whatever you're feeling today, honor them. Honor them. And whatever those fairy tales have told us, they were lovely, but it's time to write your own story. Twice upon a time, my friends, is wide open for you. Namaste. And I just want one last thing before we get back into our song. Do you like think of Madonna when you look at me with this? Just asking. Because my hands are free now, baby. I can do anything.
Yeah, I couldn't wear it because I didn't want to ruin my hair. Just kidding. All right, so this is our time of giving. I give because I can. That's why I give, not for any other reason. And it helps me to remember my abundance and that I'm blessed. So I just want to let you know that we appreciate all the giving that comes to Center for Spiritual Living Kauai and assists us to bring this teaching not just to you, but out into the world. So thank you in advance. Thank you to everyone on the mainland and online that gives to us. Just thank you, mahalo. And I know that we're all equally and doubly blessed by what we give. So let's turn to our song. I forgot to read the affirmation. Actually, let's read the affirmation. Divine love consecrates my gift. It goes forth to heal, prosper, and bless. It is evidence of my conviction that God is the source and substance of my supply. I give freely today, knowing that it returns to me multiplied abundantly. And so it is.
I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have. I am so blessed. I am so blessed. I am so grateful for all that I have.
And so Centers for Spiritual Living Kauai gratefully accepts and blesses these gifts that represent the uniqueness of each and every individual that has given them, the hearts of each and every individual that has given them. We take them, bless them, and know that they are used to go forth to spread this teaching, to spread this love, to spread this light in unique ways. And we are grateful and say thank you. And so it is.
So it is.
Thank you, Deborah. Thank you, everyone. So I don't know. Here
Yes,
they
we
come.
do.
We do have two boys today.
I give it up.
Yeah, give it up for Everett and his friend here. And what's your name, honey? Aaron and Everett.
Aaron.
Yeah. Do you guys have anything to say?
And we did some father stuff. Today's father. Fathers are a blessing. And also God is my father, right? There we go. God takes care of you. Righto? And I guess that's it.
And thank
Thank
you,
you so
George.
much, George.
And let's just do a little blessing here, a big blessing for these boys and for all the children in the world, and knowing they are blessed and that they have exactly what they need and that they are nurtured, that they are provided for, they are supplied at all times, and all the children in the world. Let's just bless them and know that everyone's growing and expanding and there's good in their lives. And I just say, and so it is. And so it is. Yeah. Thank you.
Just like a father.
All right. So, is there anything else that we need? Oh, if anything's come up with you for you today, Deborah Van de Tay, our practitioner in service today, will be up here to sit in prayer with you. And that what we call prayer is affirmative prayer. It's spiritual mind treatment, and it's all we do is we know the truth of whatever the situation is. Like, let's say it was something like finances. We would know that you were abundant, and we would just affirm that for you. So, and then it acts upon law, and things open up in your life. So, yeah. So she'll be
Roseanne
up
will be
here,
there
and
as well.
Roseanne, I guess Roseanne Jones will also be up here. So if you're requiring that, we also have a treatment box in the back where you can actually write something down that you'd like to experience in your life, and we will know the truth during the week about that too.
And I just want to
So-
add to that, it's not about like a wishing well, just to let you know, because a lot of people aren't clear. It's not a wishing well that we're going to get in there and wish with you. We're going to get in there and know for you. Because the power in which comes through us as us all of us, is that power that knows no difference between big or small. It doesn't know any difference, and that is the vehicle in which we use to open up, to know that truth, to know that when you are in a place where you say, not quite sure, and I say to someone, can you believe? And they say, no, actually I cannot, Patrick. I said, well, you came to the right place, because do you believe I can believe? Oh, yeah. And so it is. So utilize it. It's here.
Okay. All right. I think we're good. Shall we close this thing?
Everybody stand and let's close it with some beautiful, beautiful energy.
Thank you, Reverend Diane.
I'm so grateful to love. Love is ever flowing from within. Oh, it's right here to receive. We give in. I surrender in love. Wide open to this love. I surrender in love all the way. Love is all around me and above. I'm so grateful to love. Love ever flowing from within. It's right here to receive. We give in. I surrender in love. Wide open to this love. I surrender in love all the way.
Well, what I know is I surrender right here, right now, to everything that has transpired here today. Everything that is God ordained, good ordained. There's only good happening, my friends. And with that gratitude, I thank Michelle, who can get up here and speed through these announcements like nobody else. Now that is God in action. Yes. And Saratina and Reverend Suzanne, who greeted you at the door, and for all you wonderful new people, that we know who you are because you've got lays on your neck, and we love it. And Rob, who's back there making sure that we stay open, that flow of surrender stays open to not only on this island, but to the mainland as well, and way beyond. And what we have here is we have this beautiful music and this beautiful strumming going on with Maria and Bren, and sound with Jonathan. And we have a whole team back there with Ron Stover, who's putting together things. And we have Dr. Reverend Peggy, who jumped in to help today, and Anna Leah and this entire group. So I know that George was back there with our beautiful, beautiful youth. Are you ready to say thank you? And I thank Reverend Rita for that beautiful, beautiful, beautiful message, and this beautiful, beautiful, wondrous angel that she is. And back to me. I would never put the attention towards me, because that would be too much on this Father's Day. But all I got to say is I honor your inner child. I honor mine. I honor our fathers. I honor our history. I say thank you to it all, because it has made each and every one of us these light beings that are standing here right today. Can I hear amen? Can I hear, and so it is? Well, let's take it out with some song. Around me.
I surrender in love, wide open.
I surrender.
So you know the dance is a drum